Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm your host, Jared Sebesta of Taatjes Financial Group, where we build purposeful retirement plans. At Taatjes Financial Group, we believe retirement planning is so much more than just preparing financially. Our goal is to help retirees and pre-retirees steward their time, talent, and treasure. We have the tools and proven process to make sure your retirement plan delivers the greatest purpose, impact, and legacy. If you need help building a purposeful retirement plan specific for your life and your retirement, give us a call. Our number is 222-4236. You can request a meeting online at our website, taatjesfinancial.com. And if you are in the neighborhood, just stop by our office. We're located right on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer, helping you build purposeful retirement plans. Well, thank you for joining us today. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We are going to kind of continue this financial conversation here today. We've covered a number of tools in the last several weeks, stretching kind of across the gamut from different software packages that we have to the different personnel. Last week, we kind of skewed off course just a little bit and talked about grandparenting connections. In fact, again, if you missed our seminar 10 days ago, you can still watch that. You go to our YouTube channel, go to youtube.com, search Taatjes Financial. You're going to find our YouTube channel. Subscribe while you're there, by the way, but you're going to notice a number of playlists. One of those playlists is a replay of all of our online seminars. Click on that playlist and you're going to see Grand Connections, creating deep, meaningful connections with grandchildren. It's going to be the top one in the playlist. Go ahead and check that out. It's totally free. But if you miss that, very, very valuable stuff. We really got deep into this idea of connection between grandparents, adult children, and grandchildren. So again, if you missed that, go check that out. Ben Taatjes joins me on the show here today, and I think it's a pretty obvious setup, kind of what we're talking about here today. Tax deadline has now come and passed, and so I think it's just kind of the next logical step is just to kind of figure out what should be on the radar of people's minds here heading into this next season. Any recap on just kind of the tax season in general for you specifically?
Well, today is the 18th, so if you haven't got your check that you owe the IRS postmarked, please make sure you go out and do that. Yeah. But no, I think sometimes with tax season, I used to prepare taxes earlier in my career, would do tax planning and tax prep for a local CPA firm. And that's why I got into this business, was because I would see so many things that people could be doing better, Jared. I would see, wow, you could make some just changes throughout the year. Like, don't wait until it's tax season and then, think money, think taxes, and then just don't think about it again. And that's kind of what I saw, is people would, either with their advisors who didn't understand tax, or with, just do it themselves. I'm like, you're missing a lot of things. So I think today, let's just talk about a couple of those things that I'd be doing right now to make sure that next year your tax situation is even better.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got three things that we're going to go through in today's show, but I think that we need to reiterate the point. Tax planning, financial planning go hand in hand. Your retirement planner, whoever that person is, needs to understand taxes. Vice versa, your CPA, whoever you're working with, needs to understand retirement planning, and the two should be kind of having an open dialogue. But how would you describe the relationship between a retirement professional and a CPA?
Well, they do need to have an open dialogue. So most of our CPAs in the area that we talk to, we've got forms on file, so we can share both ideas and requests and send tax forms over directly to our CPAs. So it works very well for our clients, so they know that they have a team, right? And that's very, very important. Yeah. So again, that needs to be a very open, ongoing dialogue between your tax person and your advisor.
Yeah, great point. So we got three things that we want to go through here today. What's number one, Ben?
Well, the first one is, I talk to retirees most of the time in our business, but if you're a pre-retiree and you just got a massive tax return, meaning you got a bunch of money back from the IRS or the state, or hopefully you didn't get the other side of the coin where you owed a bunch of money, right? And if you did, make sure you send the check today. But if that's your situation and you weren't dialed in, I'll call that, make changes to your withholdings. So don't wait until next year and just do nothing. Make sure you do some tax planning. Say, okay, where do I want to be? Ideally, you get a very small refund or owe a small amount to the IRS once you do your taxes. Don't get a huge refund. Some people are like, I love getting that refund. All that means today is that you let the government hold on to your money. And by the way, we've talked about this in past shows. Cash is now actually generating you a positive rate of return.
Might as well have it.
You might as well own it. Keep it as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what do you want? And basically, you just answered my question. You want either to just not owe a lot or not get a lot back. Just kind of stay within a fairly tight window of where you need to be. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Because again, you don't. It's never fun to write a huge check at the end of the year. But again, I would rather write a check of some size, meaning I got to hold on to my money as long as possible. Now, not to the point where I'm paying penalties and interest and all that, but certainly just dial that in. If you know about where your income's going to be, make sure you're working with that and adjust your withholdings if you're a W-2 earner. Otherwise, just meet with your financial person if it wasn't dialed in.
Second point is something that we've talked about a lot in the past, and that's really kind of getting into this idea of maximizing tax brackets.
Yeah, I think that's very important. A lot of our clients, we do try to maximize certain tax brackets, and knowing that tax brackets are huge right now. You can fit an awful lot of income in the 10 and 12% brackets, federal. I don't forget there's some, certainly if you're kind of pre-65 and you've got some health insurance and you're retired and there's health insurance premiums that are being based on you having low income, that you don't kind of forget about that. Of course, on the higher end, if you push too much income, there can be problems with your Medicare premiums. You got to look at all those things. But again, I want to make sure that if the decision's made that we're going to be in a higher tax bracket, so at some point, maybe you're a retiree that has a bunch of required minimum distributions that will be starting 5-7 years from now. Try to minimize the brackets someday, right? And make sure you maximize the brackets today.
I think the third point is really just kind of a great sequential point, and that is now, if there were some things that need to get adjusted from last year, things that kind of came to light doing your taxes for 2022, don't wait until tax season next year to figure that out. Spend this next season and doing that. And so again, what should be kind of on folks' radar for this, rest of the spring and summer?
Well, starting right now, this month's financial literacy month. So understanding knowledge is power, right? So if you understand where your money's going, right, get yourself a budget. Figure out how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. So if you're a pre-retiree, usually we're trying to get people to have budgets so that it will help them just be in control of every dollar. So you say, okay, my money's going to both be saving. I'm putting money away for saving. I'm going to put some money away for investing for the long term. I'm going to be giving a certain amount. All of that stuff needs to be part of a budget. And then when you're a retiree, we still love budgets because it allows you to spend more. It gives you freedom to spend. Keep this discussion going. Don't just be like, oh, taxes are done. I don't have to worry about that financial stuff until next year at this time.
Right.
Use this summer, use this time, right? And even this month to really get a hold of your financial situation. Understand that cash is getting a lot more rate of return than it has in decades. So make sure you're making the most of that. Call us if you want some options there. Otherwise, just make sure you understand where all your money is, how much risk you're taking. Use this month to really get a better understanding on your financial situation.
I feel like being efficient, maximizing the efficiency of your plan, I think is really important. That's just kind of something that came to mind as you were just explaining that point. And again, I think that to reiterate the point, if you haven't met with a financial professional recently, now would be a great time to do it. Don't think that now tax season's over with, that now it's, again, I don't need to think about that for a while. I think now is actually a really great time to have that conversation, or at least get that conversation started.
Yeah, now's a great time. And again, we're have a little more freedom on our schedules now. Right before tax season, it's always crazy, but I'm looking at this summer and this, I think it's supposed to be summer out there
at some point.
And that's a great time to certainly enjoy. In Minnesota, we're gonna enjoy our summers, but it's a great time to make the most of some decisions now, which will pay you huge benefits down the road. Maybe by the next time you do your taxes, you'll look back and you'll say, I'm glad I took the opportunity to take that meeting and to make some positive changes.
All right, thank you so much, Ben. Well, if you need to get that conversation started, just like Ben said, now is a great time to do so. We have a number of ways that you can set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting. First, you can give us a call at 320-222-4236, or you can go to our website, taatjesfinancial.com, and request a meeting there. Or if you live in West Central Minnesota and are in the neighborhood, just go ahead and stop by our office. We're located right on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer. Office hours, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. I'm Jared Sebesta, joining you on this episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Securities offered through Avantax Investment Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisory Services. Insurance services offered through an Avantax affiliated insurance agency.